And yes, a federal judge on Wednesday ordered a temporary halt to the layoffs by the Trump administration of thousands of federal workers during the government shutdown. District Judge Suzanne Elston in San Francisco issued the temporary restraining order in response to a suit filed by labor unions claiming the layoffs are illegal. Elston issued her order shortly after the White House said it will likely lay off at least 10,000 federal workers during the shutdown. The shutdown has ground into its third week with Congress deadlocked. Let's now turn to an immigration lawyer, Joseph Babalola, to get his perspective on the latest development. Thank you for joining us tonight. What are the potential constitutional implications of a U.S. judge temporarily halting layoffs of federal workers, and how does this ruling protect the rights and interests of federal workers, particularly those who are not deemed essential and were facing layoffs due to government shutdown?
Well, the first thing that we have to talk about is the fact that this is not permanent. It was a very short reprieve that was actually issued by the district judge. The second thing is that all the non-essential workers that you're talking about, they could still be laid off. And then the second thing is that they can actually still work without pay. The third thing is that the government actually has some latitude, except the case actually goes all the way to the Supreme Court. It's going to be very difficult to actually say that this is actually very, very permanent. So we need a permanent solution to the issue in the sense that Congress has to come back together and they have to find a lasting solution to this impasse.
What are the potential consequences for the federal government and its operations if the shutdown continues?
They continue to lose essential people. And there are a couple of, I'll give you examples. At the CDC, for instance, right now, hundreds of very brilliant scientists have been laid off. And it's going to be very difficult for the CDC to come back together as a unit to be able to do the things that they actually did before, which is fight diseases around the world. The second thing is that they're losing very, very brilliant people that are working all across the federal government right now. And they're very discouraged because they're not being paid. So the consequences could be very devastating for the country going forward if this is not actually resolved.
How can Congress help to resolve the government shutdown and prevent future shutdowns? Is that even possible? And how with
It's possible.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's possible. This is day 16 of the government shutdown. You also need to realize that Congress actually right now is not in session. So the first thing that needs to happen is that Congress needs to come back in session. And then secondly is that the two sides, the Democrats and the Republicans, they actually need to sit down and talk about essential things. What is the Democrats talking about? They're talking about ACA subsidies, which has to do with healthcare that affects every single American, whether you're Democrat or Republican. The other thing that needs to happen is that the Democrats themselves also needs to make concessions, right? Because you can't, in any negotiation, you can't always get everything you want. So both sides have to be willing, right, to give up their respective positions. And the president also has to be invested in this. And I think that if they do that, things will definitely work out.
Is there a time frame, sir? Is there a time frame at all to what we are seeing? Because a lot of persons are not showing as much optimism.
Well, the thing is, we still have some wiggle room here. The longest shutdown in the country was about, I'm thinking about 40-something days or thereabout. Right now, we're in day 16. So some of the parties actually think that they have time. They have time to actually resolve this. The only problem with it is that people are losing jobs. And these are people that have families, that have mortgages to pay, that have bills to pay, that have children in colleges. So these things have real lifetime consequences, right, for people, the average people, civil servants that are just trying to make a living. So I'm thinking that the real lifetime consequences are very dire.
Mr. Babalola, thank you very much for sparing the time to talk to us.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.